All right, chapter 4, the last part, we're going to follow up with organizing in action. When thinking about next steps and work we can do in the future, General Dogon says we are already doing a lot of work around mental illness, and especially when a majority of our members have mental illness. I think we should all hold the city and county more accountable. We need to hold them responsible for law enforcement. We need to make them kick back on all of the forced treatment shit. Not do that forced treatment to get housing. You gotta be treated and have a mental health treatment. We need to challenge the structure. I mean, the people who are working in these disability facilities, they've got pro mentality for police. Eric also offers one way of carrying these recommendations out into the community for future organizing. So I think the more we can take all of these individual cases, like there have been people living with severe co-occurring disorders as relates to homelessness since when Reagan created mother homelessness. It's been going on for like 35 years. We need to de-escalate the individual level, that person's situation, but to not comment on that, or not to make that connection about how it's a policy decision. Like, that's the result of failed policy, and we have opportunities to change those policies. Eric also acknowledges for every opportunity we have, there's an equally dangerous opportunity that's being created in Los Angeles, in Sacramento, in state corrections, and they know that. These opportunities are always matched with challenges, but it is the continued success of LA CAN that makes members and community residents ready to fight. Core member LA CAN, Wesley Walker, shares his commitment to the movement and says, "Of all of the victories I've been a part of, I see that our work is not yet done. There is still more work to be done, and I look forward to that. I get joy from organizing, and because of it, it invigorates me." Louise Mabella Sinai, or Frenchie, also honors the work LA CAN does and explains why. "Everyone comes to Skid Row, and when I say everyone, from all walks of life, politicians, wealthy and rich people, because they donate to the organizations, but yet the people that are suffering on Skid Row are not considered anything to some people's minds, so it's very important to uplift that. I believe I was born for this." The passion spoken in their words solidifies the importance of the work and continued organizing to ensure agency and resiliency in Skid Row. Pete White shares the importance of recognizing mental illness in Skid Row and what it means for LA CAN. "Because we are representative of our membership, we understand on a very everyday human level the challenges faced by our members and community when dealing with mental illness, when living with mental illness. We understand those challenges, right? But also we understand even more importantly that those things have not been barriers to participation, barriers to fighting, or barriers to leadership. Therefore, none of these things, we don't see these things as life stops here, the road ends here. It is the way it is marketed. And so we know all of our members are just filled with resilience and have been moved and have been rocked solid in building this organization. And it's also at that human level." Pete reflects on past organizing around mental illness. "We have fought for more resources for mental health, more resources to ensure housing was provided and that services were provided. We felt that it was a good thing, right? At some point, California or Californians started figuring out that treatment was not incarceration. And when we talk about treatment, we talk about a broad range of treatment. While there has been a long history of organizing around mental illness and emergency response in Skid Row, there is more work to do." General Dogon reflects on the next steps and imagines options for treatment. "There has never been a community-led focus group, though, and a meeting like that's weekly, just for like NA or AA, NA, or CA meetings are, where people can talk about their mental health and shit. That'd be cool. This community group would be based off the needs of the community. It would be rooted in holistic methods and education around the current mental health model, and it would acknowledge what works and what doesn't work for residents and organizers. This group would highlight links and overlaps with the individual experiences and identify common avenues to collective liberation. The establishment of this community-led focus group would be to recognize that our psyches and souls and hearts contribute to collective social change in unique and important ways. We need to create space for all of us to speak and to be heard in the communities in which we work. After all, we in America, we're all suffering from mental illness." That is the end of chapter 4, and I'm going to come back and do the conclusion really quick.